Hey there, this is Erica from Ever Educating, and this channel is teaching tips, tools, ideas, and resources for new college instructors. If that interests you, go ahead and subscribe below. Today, it's a bit different. It's my Q1 accountability of the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. I do these videos every quarter for accountability, so if you're interested in seeing what my goals of the year were, I had that video linked below, and it also wraps up my last year as well, in case it interests you. But to begin, I had 10 goals that I set out the year with. Much fewer than usual. I used to do like 22 goals in 2022, etc. But in this case, it's just 10 goals for the year. So the first goal that I can proudly say I finally started progress on is starting a garden. It was one of my goals last year and I did not get to it. This year I did. I have 2 pots, I bought some soil, and I planted seeds that I was given as a gift after I presented at a summit last year. So hopefully they will become flowers soon enough. I literally just planted them this week, so I'm not seeing any progress as of yet, but I am really excited about it. Another goal that I have is to meet people, to get more out there socially. And while I wouldn't say this necessarily has happened, tied to it, I did go ahead and visit a friend out of state this past week, which I was really excited about, having a few days to visit her. It's been years, since I've been able to see her in person. So that was a really fun time, and I am connecting it to that goal in particular. My third goal is tied to my physical health. And in this case, it's been interesting because I have had a lot of progress with my daily exercise routine. For years, I've tried to make this a habit and it never really worked out. This year, definitely, I take it more seriously. So I've been posting on Twitter, like at the end of each month, my iWatch's fitness tracking for that month and comparing it to the one last year. So January versus January, for example. And so I have made massive progress in my exercise routine. I can probably count on one hand, maybe two, the number of days I haven't exercised for at least 30 minutes in the 2023 year. So I would say this has been a really positive thing that I'm doing at least 30 minutes almost every single day. On the other hand, part of the reason for this goal, right, is to lose weight. And that hasn't happened. So I'm kind of figuring out, potentially, I think for Q2, I'm gonna take it a step further and see about working with a nutritionist to see if that helps out with this particular goal. So progress, but not as much as I would like. But I am really happy that I am getting to the habit of doing, usually walking, every day for 30 minutes or more. In my creative writing category of goals, I have been making progress on doing a lot of querying of literary agents. My goal was to do at least 50 this year queries, and I've sent out 30 at this point. Half of those I'm still waiting to hear back on. So we are making progress. I am getting some positive responses, but not yet, signed with an agent. I have been working on revising picture books. I'm trying to do one a month, which has been happening. I haven't been writing that many new ones, which I'm hoping to work on as well. The main goal was to also work on a chapter book series. I started out strong in the beginning of the year, but then that has petered off. So it's something that I want to work on more in Q2. And then also I'm still waiting to get back information for a revise and resubmit opportunity. So on the whole, making progress, but I do want to really bump up that chapter book progress in Q2. And then for Ever Educating, I have not yet done a blog post, but I do have one more week before Q1 officially ends. I'm recording this a week early. So potentially I will hit the goal of having one blog post this quarter. As far as videos goes, I have been keeping up with those. The change to Saturday has been very helpful. I also did do my first live stream a couple weeks ago based off of the Q&A that I'm starting this year. If you're familiar with that, I have a form now that I'll link below. You can submit your questions to me about teaching, about becoming a YouTuber, about instructional design, and I will answer them live in a live stream. So I've done one live stream so far, and I also did one pre-recorded video for my first question because it was the only one in like 2 months, and I wanted to make sure I answered it before it was no longer relevant to that particular person. So have been making progress in that as well. So I'm hoping to get more questions in that form as the year progresses. So on the whole, of the 10 goals I had this year, 6 have been progressing well. Most of these are progress goals. They're not just like one and done. But I love that more than half of my goals I've been progressing with in the Q1. Hopefully Q2 is even better. And that brings me to what I said earlier in the video. I ended up doing something a bit different after, I'm a couple weeks in, I'm listening to my podcast, or I'm doing my walking every morning, and I came across, which I'd heard of before, but haven't really tried, the 12-week year approach to goal setting. So if you're not familiar with this, basically, rather than having, oh, it's Q1, it's a year, right? So like putting in like more stretch goals, working a lot harder towards the goals, because your mindset is, these 3 months are actually a whole year towards the progress of my goal. So at least how I interpret it, it's to give you that extra push to work really hard, because you're seeing it not just, oh, well, I have 3 more quarters left this year. Like, oh no, a year has passed, right, in just these 3 months. So the way, at least again, how I'm doing it is you kind of list out, okay, well, here are things that I want to do every week, and you give yourself like a point system for it. So for example, in mine, I have 16 items, not individual ones, but more workout every day. So that's 7 points. Okay. And then, burn at least X amount of calories a day, twice a week. Okay. Those are 2 points. Send at least 2 queries in the week. That's 2 points, right? So in total, I have 16 points connected to the goals for this Q1/12-week year. And then I have been tracking it. Let me show you here my tracker. I have been tracking it to get a sense of my percentages. So in week 1, I got 10 points out of the 16. So 62.5% accomplished for that week. And going down the list, 13, 11, 9, 12, 10, 11, 14, 12, 11. I'm still finishing up week 11. Today's the last day. This is a Saturday where I'm recording. But so far I have 2, 4, 6, 8 points for this week. I think I'll hit 9 by the end of the day. So 9 out of 16. And then week 12 will obviously is a blank slate at the moment. And so basically here, again, I think looking at this, when I'm looking at the, 5 different categories that these points are in, the first one will remain, the 30 minutes of exercise a day. But the second one was doing a specific type of workout twice a week. And I've never done this workout in Q1. So I think it's not as important to me as obviously I thought, considering I never did it. So I'm thinking there, I might just stay with the third goal, which is a certain amount of calories burned, focus on reaching that. Like how I do it doesn't really matter if I reach it. It doesn't have to be a specific workout type. So that one's gonna go away in Q2. I'm gonna keep the burning a certain amount of calories a certain amount of times a week. And then my fourth one, right, was doing 2 hours of promotion for ever educating a week. And that rarely happened as well. So I have to give that some thought too of how I might wanna change that up. The 2 hours of working on my chapter book series also rarely happened. In that sense, partially because I'm focusing a lot still on my picture books and on querying them. But I do want to have that focus in Q2 as well. So this one's one that's remaining. I have to really make that a priority in this second quarter or second year of 2023. And then the last one is to do 2 queries a week at least. Again, I've been sending out more than that. So I'll continue doing that until hopefully I land an agent. So, looking at them, I had 16 points in Q1. In Q2, I'll probably have, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's probably 15 total rather than 16. So we'll see there, how it pans out. But I did find it particularly helpful to have this more like, pushing myself of, it's not just here are my 10 goals for the year, but no, I get points every time I do these specific things towards those goals. I liked having that, like, okay, well, I only got, 9 points out of 16. That's a pretty low number. Let's make sure next week is better. So I did find it motivating to have this approach. So if you're someone who's never heard of the 12-week year, I'd recommend looking into it. It is a book, but there's plenty of videos that discuss it, obviously including this one. And yeah, on the whole, I'm happy with, how things are progressing. Q2 will be a new quarter, and we'll see how things progress from there as well. Feel free to share your own progress in your goals in the comments below. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my accountability videos coming up in these next 3 quarters. Or if, of course, you're an educator who wants to learn, about teaching tips, ideas, resources, ed tech, etc. I'll see you next time with a new video.